Okay, right, so I'm going to start the tutorial, do a couple of basics, just to show you how you get on with this Apple tutorial. So click on Photoshop, load up the application, and then go to File and go to New. Now in here it asks you to choose pixels in this instance, so look at the tutorial and choose 800 by 800. 300 pixels per inch, and make sure that is RGB, and then click OK. So what you've got is an area to draw the apple. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger on my screen. Okay, so you now get your menu on the left hand side. So if I maximize this, and you'll see, let me just minimize this. There we go. And hide on. Right, okay, so what we've got here now, on the left hand side is your toolbar, and if I look at the toolbar here, I've got a rectangular marquee. Now I need to choose, if I click and hold, I get the elliptical marquee, and this is what I need to draw my apple, right, the base for my apple. Before I do that, I need to go over here and choose new layer, which I'm going to call apple. Click OK, and now I hold shift down, which gives me a circle. So if I don't have shift down, I get this effect. If I hold shift down, I get a proper circle. And this is my apple shape that I'm going to refer to over and over again. So on the apple layer, the colors that I need, double click and choose the foreground color, which will be 88CC33. So type 88CC33, and my background color, which will be 005522. Okay, so now I'm ready to create a gradiented color tone. I need to go to the gradient tool, click and hold on the bucket, and you get the gradient tool. At the moment I've got a preset in here, so if I click that one and go to the top one, these are the two colors that I found. Yours should come up automatically. I do not want linear gradient, I want a radial gradient. So if you hover over them, it'll tell you what they are. Click on the first one and then click and drag, and this gives you the effect that we want. Okay, so we got the first layer done. The next step is to add just a little bit in a shadow layer style to this before we move on to the next layer of texture. So if you go up to image and layer style and inner shadow layer, we can now, you can see what's happening on the screen. It's preset to these details, but I'm going to change that from multiply. It's going to stay the same, 75 minus 90. This one's going to be 45. And as you're doing this, you can see the change on the screen. 80 on the bottom. So now we've got a little bit of darkness at the bottom of the shape. Okay. Now then, this is always referred to when it says command click. What it's asking you to do on a PC is control click. So if I deselect everything, see these marching ants? If I deselect everything, everything goes. But if I hold control and I click on the layer, you select those ants again. They select the area in which we're working. So no matter what layer you're on, when it says control click the apple layer or command click the apple layer, that's what you do. Go to the thumbnail and control click on that thumbnail, and that will select the area on which you're working. Okay? Right, next step, new layer. Texture. And the instruction says to add a effect, a filter to this layer. So what we need to do is make sure we've still got these colors, and then go to filter, and we add the effect. So the first effect is render clouds, and the second effect, filter, distort and spherize. Now in this one it gives you some figures, some values to bear in mind. And I think that is actually 100 and normal, so we're okay. And the last thing the tutorial on this step asks you to do is change the layer blending mode. So the layer blending modes are all in here. So whichever layer you're selecting, that's now controlling that layer. And this one's asking for soft light. So every time you do a step, save it. Control S and save as Apple in your graphics folder. The next step is to continue adding different steps or different layers on top of the original layer. That's effectively what Photoshop is. It's just basically from the top. Once you look from the top and down, imagine transparent paper showing all the different layers which makes up the image that you actually want. Okay, so good luck, and let's see how you get on.